For 4 decades, KARE 11 storytellers have brought you images that inform, inspire.
It's ripping entire pine trees into the air.
Please, more people need more volunteers.
Put the pedal to the metal and get some momentum up.
It's just, me and nature.
Oh no!
And touch the heart.
The war is not far away.
When I was in the 6th grade, I wanted to be a sister.
Everybody knows Bruno.
And tonight we're going to take the time to look back on a year that was through the eyes of those who helped capture it, the KARE 11 photography staff. We'll take a look back at some memorable moments.
What about the kids?
The stories behind them and a look inside how a news story comes together from start to finish. So join us now as we take a look at Image 22.
Give me a nice loud clap if you would.
Why am I here? To reflect.
2022 is better.
The last 7 months have been really a learning experience.
I've seen a lot of life.
Once it affects you, you realize every day is a gift.
This was my first full year working at KARE 11, and so everything was sort of new and exciting for me.
That's a dinosaur. Is it Tyrannosaurus Rex?
I've been doing this 38 years, and this is the only job I've had. So I feel like it's a privilege.
It's a great way to start the day. You get incredibly energized.
It's a passion, and I wouldn't want to do anything else.
It was fun. We saw a lot. We learned a little bit, and we might remember some of it.
Nice to be back making those personal connections for sure.
You did it. So proud of you. So proud of you.
As photojournalists, we need to be out in the community. We want to be with people and out and about.
You all right? You all right? Huh? It's your birthday.
We've gone through 2 years of the pandemic and Zoom interviews, and depending on those video apps to tell a story, and it's just not the same because you can't connect with people and you can't really capture the heart of the story by being separated by a screen.
I think one of the big storylines that throughout this year that I've covered a lot in the community is the war in Ukraine. I've been able to make a lot of friendships and contacts with people in the Ukrainian community.
In a time of distress,
I did a story on the Ukrainian Village Band, so they're celebrating 15 years, and they're used to performing for celebrations, birthday parties, and obviously when everything happened in their homeland, they shifted their focus to helping raise funds for people back home in the war efforts.
We are part of the Ukrainian community here. The Ukrainian community has been building here for over 100 years.
That's one of the stories that really stuck out to me in the community, is seeing them all come together.
a rallying cry to unite.
Julie Nelson and I did the story of the Breakfast Club.
The sun is barely up over St. Michael Albertville High School, and hundreds of kids are gathered in the high school parking lot.
Kind of a church group that gets together before a regular school day, which for high school kids, it was amazing to see them get up at 7 in the morning.
About a third of the school makes this mad dash every other Thursday morning at 6:45 a.m.
To go have breakfast and then have a little talk about faith.
Page 1070.
Thanks in large part to our story from 2019, they were able to build a barn where all the students could come for Breakfast Club.
So kids can hear about the Lord and hear they're loved and hear that they matter.
Till then it had been in garages and multiple houses because they were running out of room in each of the houses. Now they have a giant barn, which is now already running out of room.
Some of the stories that I'm proud of covering are really things that are in the Somali community.
Kaloon. What's another word for Kaloon?
The new Somali heritage and language program at Minneapolis Public Schools. And as an immigrant myself who came here at a young age, I'm very proud of that program because it gives people like myself, you know, kids who came here at a young age who have a language gap with their parents. It absolutely gives you, you know, these stories that we tell, it gives our audience a chance for them to get to know, you know, the different communities they probably are not familiar with.
I didn't know if there was a place and a space for me to do this sort of work that I've really come to love and enjoy.
A transgender news reporter at our sister station finally came out to the viewing audience, and myself and photojournalist Mitchell Yale had the pleasure of traveling to Des Moines and sharing her story not only with her own immediate viewing audience, but with her hometown viewing audience, which was right here in Minnesota.
We're living in a time when there's so much misinformation floating around about people like me. I promise we're more interesting than bathrooms or sports or whatever. We're still living wonderful, fulfilling lives outside.
We were able to help tell a story in her own words, announcing sort of her public coming out. And she's one of the few people in the industry to be out and trans and on air as a broadcast journalist, and so it was a huge honor and a huge privilege to have a hand in telling her story.
My son's been expressing how he's scared to go to school, any school right now, because the bad man's gonna come shoot him too.
I think the one word that sticks out in my mind is Uvalde. I got sent down to help our sister station, Ken's, in San Antonio, following the deadly school shooting there in June.
Es una cosa impresionante.
I've covered a lot in my time. That was hard. That was hard. Everywhere you looked in town, it was memorials, it was crosses, it was remembrances of these lives that have been cut down by gun violence. Whether it's Uvalde, Texas, or the streets of North Minneapolis, we have seen too much in the last year.
Se siente todavía la tristeza.
She says you still feel the sadness. Wherever you go, you feel the attention, the fear, but we pray to God that peace will soon come to this town.
Still to come. Have you ever wondered how a news story goes from idea to on the air? Well, we tag along for a day in the life of our KARE 11 storytellers.
My name Blue Lou, and you know what I got.
Plus, more of the standout moments from the past year when Image 22 continues.
Unwanted party, 45 minutes. Auto theft report pushing an hour. And a PD where a semi hit a parked vehicle, over an hour old.
22.
It starts early.
Bergenberg Engine 4 needed for a medical at St.
The daily task of bringing you the news.
Hey Heidi, could you head down to Hennepin County Government Center, the courthouse? It's jury selection today.
John Simon, longtime KARE 11 assignment desk manager, describes it best.
Kind of a juggling act, I guess. Lots of balls in the air and kind of moving pieces to the puzzle.
Truman has this election preview, and then is he trying to figure out the court stuff? Yeah.
Roman, the Attorney General, Heidi is on that Jeopardy.
Kind of figuring out who's going to cover what, how we're going to cover things.
Reporter Gordon Severson is in at 9:15 to find out where he's heading today.
Today we've got the St. Paul police chief will be announcing.
They're making the announcement this morning about who they picked, so that's what we're going to be covering this morning.
So much stuff.
Joining Gordon
Looks like we've got a lot of reporters and photographers today.
is photojournalist Mitchell Yeh.
Tell you that we're going to be streaming it live.
Yeah, I already have a TV.
So it might take a little time to set that up too.
While Gordon and Mitchell figure out their assignment, a handful of producers begin sketching out what their shows will look like. It constantly changes as the day progresses.
I don't even know if you can count like a number of times. It's just like it's always moving, always changing.
Which one we had? This one? Or? Yeah, they're right here. Right here? Okay.
Soon, Gordon and Mitchell are off to St. Paul.
All right, looks like we can cross.
Where they will cover a mid-morning news conference announcing the nomination of the city's new police chief.
Gordon, where's the box?
Their assignment? Stream the press conference live on KARE11.com and turn stories for the 5 and 6 o'clock newscasts. Easy enough. But
hey, John, Mitch, my shot is up.
With just minutes to go, the station is not seeing Mitchell's feed.
He says he's getting he sees the thumbnail, but he's not like getting the signal. It says live. It says live now? Oh, yeah. That must have just changed.
With the minor glitch fixed, Mitchell and Gordon can focus on their story.
Good morning, and thank you all for being here.
The press conference is underway.
I'm just tweeting out some information so the station knows what's going on, and on some pictures so they can share it on social media.
Gordon is handling the task of not only trying to pay close attention, but simultaneously writing his story and keeping viewers informed on social media.
I mean, that's the name of the game with this job. With multi-skilled journalists, you're always multitasking, doing 2 or 3 things at once.
The press conference takes about 15 minutes to shoot.
Gordon, are we going to grab anyone else, you think?
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
With their elements in hand, they head to their next stop.
Oh, thank you.
To put together their story for 5 and 6. It's 4 hours until their deadline.
Served in command positions in the office of the chief.
Gordon's task now?
Right now I'm just logging the press conference, picking out sound bites, information that I want to highlight.
That can take Gordon anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. He has to compress the entire 15-minute press conference to a mere 1 minute and 30 seconds. Gordon is what we call a multi-skilled journalist. Most days, he takes care of putting the final product together, shooting the video, writing, and editing the story.
In a crowded press conference in City Hall.
But today, because of the nature of the story and the elements involved,
Values that we are seeking to advance.
he has Mitchell to help out.
I'm just laying down all the bits of sound that Gordon has picked for the story.
He is tasked with putting together Gordon's voice track with sound bites from the press conference, what's known in TV lingo as a package.
My goal to have this done is 4:30 at the latest because we gotta take time to set up our live shot.
As the minutes tick down,
Community-driven, community-first public safety.
Gordon and Mitchell give the story one final look.
Try it without the cutaway. I don't know if you necessarily need it.
With those changes made, the finished product is on its way to the KARE11 studios, where an editor will put the story into what's called the rundown for the 5 o'clock news. Back in St. Paul, Mitchell is busy setting up for their live shot.
1212, hello, can you hear me?
And has spent the last 24 years with the police department.
Gordon gives his script one last read. And before you know it,
Gordon Severson is live in St. Paul to tell us more.
It's showtime.
Yeah, out of the 5 finalists, Axel Henry.
Just another day.
But this is a pretty typical day. Never know where you're going to be writing or editing, getting the story ready for 5, 6, and then get back to the station, unload your gear, and then go home. Do it all again the next day. Start with another story and go back at it.
Coming up next, we look at some of the favorite moments captured by the KARE11 storytelling team and a look ahead to 2023 when Image 22 continues.
Three balls, 2 strikes.
When I think about stories that were memorable, one that comes right to the top is one about an umpire in Becker, Minnesota. If you hear the name Blue Lou and you're from that area, you probably know who I'm talking about.
My name Blue Lou, and you know what I got. What do you got? I got a 10 that's hotter than hot.
He's a little different than your regular umpire. Let's just say he's got a little bit of personality. How many baseball games have you gone to with your kid and seen an umpire doing backflips and front flips? Like, what kind of umpire does that? Not very many. The
sticks out to me this year is the 2022 Twin Cities Marathon.
This is the greatest thing ever.
We spoke to so many people, and one woman that sticks out to me is the past 2 or 3 years she has ran the marathon, but she has underlying medical conditions.
The last 2 marathons that I attempted, I didn't finish them because I collapsed both times and had seizures.
Follow her and see her get that medal in her hands, and then, you know, tears break out in her eyes. It was something that inspires you.
Good morning.
I covered a story about a principal.
Good morning.
That goes around the school on roller skates, and I just thought the entire time, where was my principal growing up, and where were his roller skates at? That seems so fun.
It is fun. You need to do it.
So that was one of the more fun stories that I've shot, and that was one of the stories that I really got to have some fun with.
There was a woman in River Falls who took in a family from Ukraine.
She didn't understand and she couldn't believe, still couldn't believe that the war has started.
So we went over to their house. It was myself and then photojournalist Craig Norkus. Got a chance to talk to them a little bit about being here in River Falls. They said they wanted to stay in this community as long as they're here.
We don't want to move from River Falls at all. We want to stay here. People here is really wonderful. And our angel Tamia, is the best one.
Pretty incredible to see this woman who didn't know this family at all and opened up her home to them.
I think my biggest story of 2022 was telling the story of 4 veterans.
All right, let's go. There we go.
Who are going to be getting on a small, it's not small, but a good-sized canoe and rowing it across the Atlantic Ocean. Telling their story, being with them on the boat, seeing them train has probably been the most impactful story on me. And they set sail right after Thanksgiving, and I look forward to following their journey.
A lot of math and agriculture. Listen up.
We went earlier this year to Randolph, Minnesota to follow Ed Terry, who had been a teacher in Randolph High School.
Well, I'm retiring after 51 years, so today is my last official day of school.
We followed him at the tractor parade in the winter and then came back for his last day of school with his last class as they went out to the field and did a field trip.
It's awesome. It really is.
It was really fun to follow him and watch him work and watch the students learn from him.
Oh, let's see here. My hope for 2023 is to be able to tell more stories that really get to the humanity of our community.
Create awareness and give people the chance to know what's going on outside their door.
Being able to go out in the communities and not just covering the same kind of sad, trying things.
Keep building my own toolbox of creativity every day.
What do I hope for 2023? I'm gonna continue telling the stories of our communities, and I look forward to it.
One of the things that I would love to do next year personally is to continue telling stories of artists in our community.
I just hope 2023 can bring us some more comfort.
My hope for 2023 is to take everything we've done so far, make that the worst thing we've ever done, make 2023 just even that much better.
I say this every year, but I just want to keep helping everybody get better.
I'm excited to see how we develop and we form as a group, but I'm more so excited for tomorrow or next week because we're going to do something new all over again.
Gathering the stories of your world is a monumental task and would not be possible without the teamwork of a talented group of people. As we leave you tonight, we want to acknowledge those who make these stories and these moments possible. Here at KARE 11, we are a big team and a big family, and we thank you for letting us join yours each night on television.